Everybody, welcome to Back Issues. I am Sal.
I'm Ethan.
And I'm Ben.
And hey, why don't you check out some great people that we love so much?
In fact, one of the things you should do is you should come down to this great comic store, Funny Books Comics and Stuff, in Lake Hiawatha, New Jersey. You can visit their website at funnyrama.com.
You should also check us out live at the Garden State Comic Fest in the Morristown Heights on August 23rd.
You are correct.
We will be there live. Lots of other cool people will be there.
Yep.
And as we said in the last episode, we are going to have things for you to for us to sign, for you to sign.
Yeah, lots of books and stuff.
Yep. Tiff and Danielle from our sister show Bonus Round will be doing a live bonus round at the table,
which is really exciting. I want to see what they're going to play.
I have no idea, and neither do we, so it's going to be a lot of fun to check out. I'm going to mix it up today, and I got two comics that we could talk about, but I wanted to leave it up to you. Okay. So our options today are...
We're going to do like the left hand, right hand, where like we don't know what we're picking?
No, we know what we're picking, right?
No, you guys... Well, neither of you know.
Well, he knows what we're
picking.
But
you know now. Here we go. The books we're possibly reviewing today are Marvel Comics Super Event Siege, which stars the Avengers. It was a universe-shaking event that took place after Secret Invasion, after Norman Osborn took over as the head of S.H.I.E.L.D. And dissolved S.H.I.E.L.D. and turned it into Hammer. And the other one is the New 52 debut of the Justice League. Justice League Origin, Volume 1, drawn by Jim Lee, written by Jeff Johns. So, take a look-see.
Was this before or after House of M?
That was after House of M, but drawn by the same guy, Olivier Coipel. The same guy who drew House of M came back, along with the same guy who wrote it, actually. It's written by Bendis and drawn by Coipel, so...
Oh, I like this.
This one looks cool.
Nah, this one looks cooler.
Well, it's
you haven't even
Jim
seen
Lee.
this one.
I don't care.
By the way, whatever these gentlemen reject is not a guarantee that we will review it next week.
Oh, man.
But we will get to it eventually, just like all the books we have. Especially World War Hulk, which I think I'm going to delay again.
So they're both roughly around the same time. I want to do Justice League.
All right. Since Ben would like to do Justice League and Ethan doesn't give a shit, we're doing Justice League Origin, Volume 1 from the New 52.
It's the first time I've won anything.
Like ever, or on the show?
I meant like... It's not true. I've won plenty of things.
I mean, like, it was an obvious lie that I told for no reason.
Yeah.
All right.
This was the New 52 debut of the Justice League.
Okay.
It wasn't the New 52 debut of those characters, though, right?
No.
Okay.
No, they've been in their own books since the New 52 came out.
Yes, but this just came out.
Let's form a team.
Mm-hmm. Well, it's actually a flashback book that tells the first time the Justice League was formed.
Ever?
So, yeah.
Justice League Zero.
So, yeah, Justice League Zero, exactly.
All right, so we've got Batman.
We've got Batman.
We've got Superman.
That's right.
Judging by the characters in the back, of course, we've got Flash, Green Lantern, Wonder Woman.
Totally.
I thought I saw on the front cover Cyborg.
Yes, Cyborg.
Anyone else?
Do you have Blue Beetle in there?
No Blue Beetle, just
what about
Cyborg.
Fire and Ice? This doesn't sound like the Justice League to me, Sal.
No, this is not the Justice League from 25 years ago.
Aquaman. I forgot Aquaman.
Aquaman does join up with Justice League, yeah.
The line that I saw in there was, "I'm not a fish, Aqua Fresh," that Green Lantern said. I was like, we are reviewing this.
Genius. Genius-inspired writing from Jeff Johns.
I'm not a fish. Aqua Fresh.
So, this is the New 52 debut of the Justice League. Obviously, the Justice League has been around for, like, almost 70 years. Lots of continuity involved. When the characters that Ethan was referring to took over as the Justice League was at its lamest and weakest possible.
I don't know if Cyborg's on here, that kind of...
I know.
Yeah, but just
you'll notice
that, and it's good again.
But he's awesome and great because he's black, and it makes the team look a lot more inclusive now because they've got a woman and a black guy and a fish man.
All right, he doesn't count as like being.
No, I'm just kidding. He's not actually. Race. Yeah, he's just also incredibly Aryan.
He's Atlantean.
Yeah.
So we have basically Grant Morrison's team. When Grant Morrison came on Justice League, like 10 or 15 years ago, actually 15 or more years ago, he was like, why is the Justice League so lame? So he's like, it's got to be like the real heavy hitters. It's got to be the Trinity, Superman, Batman, Wonder Woman. Right. But it's also got to have like some cool characters like Green Lantern and Flash. And...
But they were on the Justice League before, right?
Yeah, I mean,
so why did they undo that Justice League?
Yeah,
they're like, it's too powerful.
I do remember I was talking about this. It's because they're saying, why put them all in one book when we can sell 7 books?
Yeah, but they would also sell 7 books.
Yeah, they do. It
In
was
addition
more like,
to Justice
it was more
League.
like as fans, as readers in the 60s and 70s, they were like, "Why would I buy a Batman book when I can
people
get
weren't
all these
buying
characters
it.
for the same price?"
That's
But it doesn't really translate to that economically. Like, you're not going to lose readers by putting Superman in this book. Like,
right.
I mean, you might lose like one guy who's like, "Ugh, there's
I'll
only
just buy
Superman
Justice
books.
League."
I'll read Justice League. He's cool in there." Like, I'm sure they're going to carry over whatever's happening that you don't like in that title.
Yeah.
But in any case, they were like, let's go with the lame team, because that way we can show the rich diversity of our, like, collective library. All these different characters we've
I
created.
see.
Look how great they are.
They want to bring out
Yeah,
new characters.
Exactly. And kind of upset the apple cart a little bit. Like, this isn't your daddy's Justice League, this is a new Justice League. And also, they were kind of probably running out of stories to tell that featured Superman, because they were like, why can't Superman just punch that and then end the story? And it's like, well, no, if Blue Beetle's in the Justice League, then they have to actually try a little harder and figure it out.
Well,
because
they
he's lame.
know they could just New 52 it.
Oh,
and
yeah.
just reset everything.
Oh, well, they knew they could do
nothing.
that, and they do that every 10 or 15 years. But yeah, they were like, little did they know. And,
Well, they thought they had to have a crisis or something.
Yeah.
But they didn't have to have a crisis.
well, they had a crisis right before this.
It was
Oh,
all two
really?
Earths.
Oh, yeah. No, well, that was the first crisis, but there were so many.
So there was a crisis that created New 52.
Well, alright, there was a huge crisis called Final Crisis, which technically was the Final Crisis, because after that they rebooted everything. But Final Crisis,
So there's going to be no more crises.
Well, I'm sure there'll be another crisis. But
Crises?
yeah, crises.
No.
Final Crisis is a story that, like, was also Grant Morrison, where it was like, okay, we're going to try and change things around, we're going to get rid of Darkseid, who is this big, epic bad guy from the DCU.
Yeah, I know him from Mortal Kombat vs. DC Universe. He's in there.
Pretty much the character you know. Like, it's literally him. Darkseid is a big baddie, he rules a planet all of his own called Apocalypse. The planet is a shithole. He has a little underling who's dresses like Emperor Palpatine, but like if Emperor Palpatine was like weak and frail. Actually, he kind of is. So
Yeah.
dressed like so basically a little Emperor Palpatine.
What do you mean it's a shithole?
Like it's literally a planet with holes in it that blast polluting energy, and it has.
What is the economic basis of this planet? Like,
The economic basis is everyone who lives on Apocalypse is either a mindless drone monster or a slave.
do they grow food there? Is it possible
No.
to live there? Like, how did they
it's
eat?
actually kind of uninhabitable.
Uninhabitable.
Inhospitable.
Yet
yeah.
filled with people.
Yes, I believe they actually probably use the boom tube technology that Darkseid's disposal. Boom tubes are just handheld teleportation devices. They can take you all across the galaxy with but a push of a button.
And they just take food from other people, probably.
That's my guess.
Yeah.
Because from what I've seen of Apocalypse, it is completely incapable of sustaining life.
Okay.
Or, at the very least, vegetation.
Well,
So-
I mean, maybe they eat rocks.
Yeah, I mean,
Yeah, they could be
very-
rock eating.
they could be
These are very
eating
rich and
rocks or
tasty.
fire, because it seems to be the most abundant resource on
Hey, if you want
Apocalypse.
hot rocks, we got hot rocks.
We got hot, we got
Very-
rocks, we got hot rocks. We got it all. We're a
They're
sauna
net
planet.
exporter of hot rocks.
We are importer-exporter of hot rocks.
Yeah.
So, Apocalypse is a shithole, and Darkseid rules that planet with an iron fist.
I don't think you rule a shithole planet. I think you're just kind of stuck on a shithole planet.
Yeah, well, he can leave whenever he wants, but he likes ruling that place because he is immortal, and he likes being a tyrant. And he keeps I think the people who live there are slaves and
Yeah.
imprisoned. I think that they had the option of living, like, let's say, on New Genesis or Earth. They might take that opportunity.
Does he try to take over other planets?
Yeah,
And it
He's
doesn't
so
work out so
powerful,
well.
it should be pretty easy, right?
yeah, but
Most planets that aren't Earth.
the
they don't have
planets that he's
superheroes.
interested in are Earth, so...
So he just happens to be
Why
interested
is
in the planet
everyone
that's like
so
the hardest
interested
one
in
to take
Earth all
over.
the time?
Well, it's kind of in the Goldilocks zone, as they've said. So it's got all the kind of natural resources, and it's got people perfect for slavery.
Yeah, but it's also got all these superheroes defending it.
Well, that's
Like,
kind
it's
of a
hard
nuisance.
target.
And every bad guy that ever invades Earth is always like, well, I mean,
I'll just deal with them.
Yeah, and then of course they get their ass handed to them. Darkseid also has a different motivator. He is in ever pursuit of what is known as the anti-life equation. Much like his rip-off character Thanos, he who is in pursuit of the love and respect of the embodiment of death, while also possessing the Infinity Gems, which are basically just these cosmic crystals that control different aspects of reality: time, space, mind, soul, so forth. Darkseid has his mission, and Thanos has his mission, and they both kind of look the same. So it's like, they're kind of... But, like, Darkseid's mission is he's looking for the anti-life equation, which is basically like the theory that ends all life. Because he's like a nihilist who wants to see not a nihilist, he wants to see the end of
Does
reality.
that include him?
I think he would be happy to be included in that, yeah. Although,
Gee, the death wish.
yeah, seems like it.
As an immortal.
Although he doesn't, because he fights. He doesn't just show up to Earth and go, kill me, everybody!
Well, but that could be to preserve his dream of
Yeah, I think that's exactly right. I think he's
Well, yeah,
motivated
he doesn't
by
want to
it.
die before he ends everything.
Right.
Exactly.
But
I
he
think he
does
wants
want
to
to
be...
die.
Yeah, I just think he wants
in
to be...
his specific way.
I think he wants to die last.
Yeah. So, this equation, like, how does it work? Like, you write it down
Yeah,
and the
it's
world
basically...
ends?
If you...
Or do you have to, like, write it down and then it tells you how to build the machine that ends the universe?
Well, that's the question, and that nobody really knows what the anti-life equation is. We just know that it is an equation. Do you read it and it ends life? Do you say it and it ends life?
Do you put it into a computer and it ends life?
Do you put it into a 3D print machine and it makes no life? Like, who knows?
Has that ever been answered?
I saw it answered in the Justice League cartoon series.
Oh.
Lex Luthor go to the Source Wall, which is basically like a cosmic wall in space, where all knowledge and everything that ever was and will be is kept.
Who put it there?
The people who created everything.
Okay.
That sounds like it's a big wall
Yeah.
that is impossibly long. It
Yep.
would be really hard to find things
Yes.
on.
How would you even find the wall?
Well, the
Is it,
wall
like, really
itself
bright?
is
it like
no,
shine with the brightness of 1,000 suns?
No,
or-
I believe the wall's actually comprised of those who sought it. So the wall has like people preserved in it. So the wall's kind of
It's
like
just
made
floating
up.
in space,
Yeah, that's how I've seen
and
it.
you just stumble across it. You just
Well,
fly
eventually
through
you
space
find
and
it.
hit this wall.
You have to be smart enough, powerful enough, and capable enough to get to it. It's kind of like in
the room of a requirement in Harry Potter, where you're just like, look, I need
I
this
know.
specific thing, so the room creates a room that has all the stuff that you need in it. Like, I really have to go to the bathroom, and like you find a bathroom, or like I really want dinner, and it creates like a
So
little
it's
banquet hall.
magic.
Yeah.
Like, it's a magic wall.
You can't find the wall unless you're looking for the wall. Is
It's-
what I'm hearing.
It's also, that's a good point. I find it's also comparable to that awful Pirates of the Caribbean movie when they're looking for Davy Jones' locker, and they need like a crappy weirdo map, and then they need to like sail towards the sunset, and then the world flips over. Like, it's just kind of like a really difficult pursuit that is challenging and full of hardship, and you have to know kind
And
of what
it's
you're
magic.
looking for.
You
And
have
it's
to have
magic.
magic
It's a magic wall. Lex Luthor goes to the Source Wall, and because he's super smart, he reaches the Source Wall, he enters it, and when he enters the Source Wall, it's not like he bumps into a wall or he opens a door. A brilliant flash of light appears, and that's all we see of Lex Luthor's interaction with it. But when he returns to get rid of Darkseid, because Darkseid is a big problem, who's attacking Earth and everything, and they can't stop him, Lex Luthor returns to Earth with the anti-life equation. And he reaches
in his
into
brain?
his suit pocket,
Oh.
and he pulls out what looks like a glowing DNA strand.
Oh.
It's basic, or an atom. Like, it looks like a configuration of atoms.
Okay.
And but larger, obviously. And Darkseid touches it, and then he and Lex Luthor are vaporized. Basically, Lex Luthor figured out, like, if Darkseid interacts with the anti-life equation, it will kill him.
Okay.
Um,
So it's some kind of like force or
Yeah.
elemental thing.
yeah, well, it could be anything. That's the thing. Like, that's why Darkseid is obsessed with it, because he doesn't really know what it is or what it's capable of, but he knows, or at least he
know it
believes.
exists?
Because the same reason why people know that the Source Wall exists, like because
There's,
there
like,
are
legends.
yeah, and Darkseid's also like really old, and he's from a race of beings that like have been around for a long time, and
But not that if Darkseid understands it, it's just that if he interacts with it.
Or if
He'll-
he
he'll
finds
vaporize.
it.
well, that's in the cartoon. We don't know what the comic would
So
be.
he's
No,
been
no, that's what I
around
mean.
for like
Yeah.
40 years, never found the anti-life equation,
No.
or told anybody what that even means.
Well, I'm sure that there have been stories where they've not only
Okay.
explained it, but he's found it, and
I
like
see.
he couldn't get to it, or he couldn't use it properly, or whatever.
see.
I'm sure they've done that
So
story.
it's like, it's a thing. It's a thing somewhere that you gotta find. It's not like an idea that you just have to think
well,
of it. And then,
no, it's not like he solves it in his head and then it
Right.
becomes real. So yeah, I have no idea. It's just that it sounds cool to say Darkseid pursues the anti-life equation,
Right.
and we comic readers are just kind of like, sounds
Okay.
cool. I hope he doesn't find it. whatever that means. So that way in 5 years...
he's really bad at math.
Yeah. That way in like 5 years, when the writers get lazy and they're like, he found it, we're like, oh no!
He just writes down anti plus life equals anti-life. I've done it!
All right.
So he's
anyway,
the bad guy in Justice
in this
League.
book.
So
And they've never seen him before?
No, in the New 52, this is the introduction of Darkseid.
Okay.
Now, of course, it's a flashback, so we're seeing everybody kind of like when they're still green around the gills.
Right.
Wonder Woman has just kind of arrived on man's world.
Okay.
She was intercepted by a Air Force captain who kind of like is her liaison to the U.S. government.
Okay.
Because basically her mom was like, you should go to man's world and like represent us. And that's why she's dressed like that.
I see.
That's why she dresses like the American flag, because she's wearing the colors of the land that she is visiting.
I see. And she's like, this is everything, right? This place
This is what you do.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, and this
She
is...
found out later, like, oh, there's actually
there are other
there are
countries, and I'm not going to
I'm
dress
kind
like
of a
that.
jerk.
Green Lantern's like newish to the job. Batman is kind of relatively young.
So it looks like they fight.
That's the book. The Justice League fights.
Oh, the Justice League fights each other?
Yep, and
Oh,
then they
cool.
fight Darkseid. The end. It's literally a crossover. It's
Yeah.
every crossover you've ever heard of or read. The Justice League has a misunderstanding, they fight each other, then they meet Darkseid, they fight Darkseid, and at the end they realize, hey, we should be a team. What if more Darkseids show up?
Right.
The end. Dumb. It's so freaking bad. But people
Really?
eat this shit up, they love it. And you know what? It's drawn by Jim Lee, it's super
It
rad
does
and cool
look
looking.
Really cool. Yeah.
But everybody acts like a moron. Because they're just, like, the only one who doesn't act like a moron, obviously, is Batman.
Right.
Who's like, we have to stop and talk to each other. But the first thing he does is attack Superman. And then Green Lantern jumps in, he's like, oh, whoa, stop, we have to talk to him. It's like, at no point does Green Lantern go, you know, you attacked him too, you jackass. Like, you're not any better than the rest of us.
Right.
It's almost like they
Well-
wrote that scene, they drew it, and then they went, wait, but Batman has to be the voice of reason. Oh, well, we'll just make it happen anyway.
Yeah. Well,
So-
also Batman has to, like, be a douche.
Right.
And, like,
But in this,
you
it's
know,
interesting.
prove that he's so badass he'll even punch Superman.
Right. Well, it's interesting because in this, Batman is the most, I want to say, hopeful and, like, compassionate in this story.
Okay.
Out of everybody, Superman is like, I got attacked by these monsters. Clearly it must be the Green Lantern or this Batman. I'll slap them around. Like, there are giant, like, drooling, flying monsters that look nothing like anything on planet Earth. They attack him. Batman has one of the boom tubes that they explode from, and so he's like, clearly you must have summoned them, and then attacks them. It's just, he is so stupid. He is so Frank Millerian dumb.
He's so not Superman.
Okay, so what actually happens in this book?
What actually happens is Darkseid sends a contingent of, like, terror guys. I don't remember what they're called, but they're little, like, winged monsters.
Are they from Apocalypse?
Yes, they are.
Okay.
I feel like they're indigenous, but, like, what is? Like, I don't know if that's
Right.
true. But anyway, they're
To the extent that anything can be indigenous to a fire-filled
like a fire-filled wasteland, yes. So, he sends a contingent using his boom tubes, his teleportation machines, to Earth to kind of check it out and rough up the population.
Right.
Because, you know, that's what you
Just
like to do.
Just because he's...
As you do.
Yeah.
And,
I just want to show them that I'm in charge.
Yeah.
Rough them up a little bit.
yeah, rough them a little bit.
Right.
Don't take over the planet. Just, you know,
Smack
throw
'em
your-
around.
Throw your weight around.
Yeah, exactly.
Just draw a lot of attention to yourselves and rally the inhabitants against me. So yeah, sharks jump out of the water all simultaneously and grab these things.
Yeah, so that's the great thing. Green Lantern's like, look, I can do anything with my ring. What can you do
He's like, I can summon giant sharks.
to eat these monsters? Like, all right, cool.
Fair enough.
I do
I
like
can
the
kill
sound.
anything that's within 20 feet of the water.
I do like the sound that his communication with the sharks makes because apparently it's va 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 va.
Yeah, well, that's like a
Yeah, it's like
mental
sonar. It's low.
No, bottom left
frequency.
corner.
Yeah. It's fine.
I thought they were going to be words. Like he was just thinking the words.
Oh.
Like sharks eat these guys.
Does he have like a psychic link, or is he literally using sonar?
No, it's a psychic link.
Well,
Because he talks to them, right? So it's like in
in
their
the
mind.
in the comments section of our Aquaman review from Off the Rack,
Uh-huh.
somebody was like, "He doesn't talk to fish, retards." So, maybe he doesn't.
Oh,
but
I thought he
it
did.
sure looks like it.
I thought he talked to fish.
I think he does.
We talk to animals. We talk to our pets, like cats and dogs. They don't understand
but
the
they
words.
know what he's
Here's
saying.
the thing. If I had a mental communication with a dog, and I were able to mentally make the dog do what I want,
Right.
and it's not slavery or forced against his will,
Right.
he does it because I compelled him to do it. People would say I could talk to dogs.
Yeah.
So
That's
Aquaman talks
exactly
to
what they would
fucking
say.
fish.
And if he uses his words once in a while, what does it matter? He's still communicating
Yeah.
telepathically.
So there you go. Anyway, Aquaman shows up because he's like, these things are in the water and they're bothering my kingdom. And they're
Right.
like, oh, well, you should team up with us. And he's like, okie dokie.
Sounds good.
Then Darkseid shows up and he's like, hey, how come this Earth isn't conquered yet? And then the Justice League trip over themselves to show how badass and cool they are against Darkseid.
And lose.
And then they lose.
Because that's what happens when you first fight the bad guy.
Now, when they lose, they just get hit really hard and they
Yes.
go
And
away.
it's very much like the Ghostbusters fighting Vigo. Or Gozer. Where they're
Okay.
like, okay, so when did we lose control here?
Yeah.
That's Ninja Turtles. It's very much like the first Ninja Turtles movie.
Okay.
When each
Right.
Ninja Turtle goes up against Shredder, and individually they can't defeat him.
Right.
But then Splinter can beat them.
Well, I'll say this much. I bet he never has to look for a can opener.
When the Justice League meet Darkseid, it's almost exactly like the Ninja Turtles meeting Shredder.
Because they're going after him one at a time.
Yep.
Because they haven't learned to work together.
No.
And when they learn to work together, then they can beat him.
This is
Not
great.
some old rat.
There's actually a line here. Green Lantern says, I'm guessing that's the bad guy when Darkseid
When Darkseid
shows up.
appears. Yeah, inspired writing. Because Green Lantern's so funny and cool.
Yeah.
He's like us. We would say that if Darkseid showed up, right?
Well, I did
Right.
say that about
If someone
the
showed
other
up and they
Superman.
were killing people and stuff, we'd just be like, I'm guessing that's the bad guy.
I'm guessing this
We're
guy."
having a good time
Right?
here. Despite the devastation and death all around us.
Yeah. We also introduced Cyborg to the team. He was a Teen Titan. His dad was a super scientist. Worked for Star Labs. Victor had a promising career in football or something. And his dad's experiment in technology or something blows up because of the Darkseid invasion. And Victor gets royally messed up. And so...
Oh, that's in this book?
yeah, that's in this book.
Okay,
So-
I did see Cyborg with all this red shit around him, and
Yeah.
I wasn't sure what was going on.
Well, his dad put him in, like, a cyborg suit to, like, save his life. And so, thus, Cyborg was born.
all right.
And Cyborg can interface with, like, any tech. So, like, his cyborg body interfaces with, like, the boom tubes that are communicating with each other all around the world.
Okay.
So, Batman goes to Apocalypse because Superman got taken there by Darkseid to be,
Ugh.
like, experimented on, and maybe, like, they were going to use his DNA to make better
More Superman.
guys. Yeah. So you'd like it, because Wonder Woman is royally badass in this book.
I saw her being pretty badass.
She's also a super duper joke. She's like Gimli in the Lord of the Rings movie. Like, when she's like in DC, like walking
yeah, just
around.
walking around. She's got her sword out. She's waving it around.
Yeah, she's like,
She's
man's
making
world
jokes.
is a funny place, isn't it? And then like, there's this little girl who wants ice cream from like an ice cream vendor. And she's like, I want ice cream. And he's like, I will take ice cream as well. 2 ice cream, please. And the ice cream vendor like gives it to Wonder Woman and the little girl. And she's like, this is heavenly. Like, and you're
ice
like,
cream is
Jesus
wonderful.
Christ.
You should be proud of this achievement. The guy's like, thanks.
Yeah. But the funny thing is,
So
like,
she's like Thor
yeah, in the movie.
in the movie.
It's like...
Another!
Yeah. It's funny because the writer thinks that scene's clever and funny. We've never seen it before.
Right, but we've
But
actually
it's-
seen it a billion
Yeah,
times.
it's actually funny because of how tired it is.
Yeah. How do they beat
Darkseid?
Darkseid? Because I'm reading it and I'm confused.
They push him back through the boom tube and then break the boom tube. So they just send him back to Apocalypse. They never really defeat him.
I see.
They give him like they like punch him a lot. Wonder Woman like stabs one of his eyes, which is cool.
Yeah, and Aquaman stabs the other one.
Yeah.
Oh.
And
Apparently it doesn't matter, though.
not really. Yep.
I get it, but...
Well, that's the problem. That's the folly with picking the strongest villain you could possibly think of for your
Right.
first battle.
Right. Yep.
It's the till next time. Like, he's supposed to be the biggest villain that they're ever gonna face.
Yeah.
He'll be behind certain things. It's
Well,
like...
that's why they don't beat him. They only send him back.
It's kind of like Rita Repulsa in the Power Rangers.
She's like, oh
Like,
no.
she goes down to fight them at one point. I think it's the first episode where she makes herself huge.
Really?
Yeah.
Yeah, I think so. And then she never actually fights them again. She just sends other minions like, I'll get them this time.
But there's always the promise that someday she will fight them.
Yeah,
Right.
like I'll get them.
A promise that is never
Well, there you go. So
Darkseid's like, well, you
Sorry.
may have sent me back, but I'll return.
Yep.
And until then, I do nothing.
yeah. Well, until then, I'll be a nuisance in the galaxy or something.
Yeah.
Other people will have to deal with
So
me.
he can't, like, make a new boom tube on Earth?
No, he makes them all the time. So like he could.
Oh, he'll just come right back
But
then.
he's also like, man, what a pain in the ass that was. Is it even worth my time to like go back there and take over
Right,
the Earth with
like-
all these friggin' costume clowns attacking me
Right.
and punching me in the eyes? Justice League Origin Volume 1, New
Looks
52.
awesome.
Looks great, as do most of Jim Lee's books.
Look, I'm gonna read this.
You will
Have
find fun. Justice League Volume 1 Origin by Jeff Johns and Jim Lee. Great art. Writing. What are you gonna do?
I like some of the liners.
At least they get to be cool and punch things.
Aqua Fresh.
Aquafresh. Let us
Funny,
know.
because, it's a mouthwash.
Yeah. Yeah, that's the joke.
Or toothpaste.
yeah,
I think it might be both.
I think it's both. I think that's, yeah.
I think it's both.
You guys got questions for them? They can leave them in the comments down below.
Questions?
Yeah, something for them to answer. They never
All right.
do it, but
How about this? If you had to take away one character out of the Justice League and then
Ooh.
substitute someone else in,
Yes.
who would you take out? Who would you put in? You could also send us a video of you explaining why. So send that to us. Maybe we'll toss that in.
Yes, you have to use a hashtag in order for us to find it, because I'm
Yeah.
never going to find it without it. So use the hashtag LHJLA, which you'll see down here at the bottom of the screen. Use that hashtag and we will find your video, and we'll maybe be able to use it at the end of this video. So let us know what you guys think of that question that Ben posed to you. Anyway, I guess that's it for us on Back Issues. We'll see you next time, everybody. I'm Sal.
I'm Ethan.
And I'm Ben.
So long, everybody.